It's a tough room when you're up against Ford Escape, Toyota RAV4, and Honda's CR-V. Mazda strides in there with its zoom zoom promise. Can it hold its own? Let's drive the 2015 CX-5 Grand Touring and check the tech. Now, the CX-5 is a two-row, five-passenger crossover. No third row, optional or standard in this guy. Fairly compact in its lines. It is to the Mazda 6 what a BMW X3 is to a 3 Series, to kind of stack the concept here. Now, you've got a lean, Spartan, sporty cabin in the CX-5 that goes with its zoom-zoom driving character. The main tech story is the optional navigation system in this otherwise stock Grand Touring head unit. This is TomTom-powered stuff. It's a mixed bag, in my opinion. First of all, you've got kind of a pedestrian-looking overview map that, oddly enough, puts traffic in this weird little linear band on the right instead of overlaying it really richly on the map. That, to me, is kind of an odd interface. On the other hand, as you get close to a turn or an interchange, it does a great job. In fact, it changes to a totally different look to show you what lane to be in and micro guide you. So that I like a lot. On the other hand, you've got a mix of interfaces. Hit the screen and you get this classic TomTom interface you might know from your PND. But if you want to drive by voice,
ready.
Navigation. You get this very different list of choices, not the same as what's on the TomTom map, and certainly not the same look and feel. That, to me, is not good interface design. And that nav is grafted on, by the way, over here in this odd little door on the side of the dash. You slide that open, and that's where the SD card goes. Obviously, you've got Bluetooth calling, Bluetooth streaming. Under your audio choices, you're not going to be missing anything. We've got AM and FM radio with a handy HD toggle. I like this as opposed to letting the radio do its own switching. They tend to make a hash of that. Sirius satellite radio, Bluetooth streaming is right next to Pandora, working off your app. Everything is kind of slow on this connected stuff, especially on the Bluetooth and Pandora. I just feel like this system is kind of overburdened. It doesn't move very crisply, so you're constantly glancing back after you invoke something to see if it's up yet, and that takes your eyes and mind off the road. Same thing goes for acquiring the iPod and other sources, but at least all the things you want are here, as well as traditional optical disc and aux. Beyond that, pretty pedestrian, 6-speed automatic only in this trim level of the vehicle. You've got a sport gate on the side. No paddles are available, though, which I found surprising given Mazda's sporting intentions. And this vehicle, new this year, has a sort of city braking technology to prevent rear-enders with automatic braking, something Volvo pioneered a couple of years ago. Now, under the hood, they used to stick only a 2-liter in these cars. Now they have an optional 2.5-liter in the higher trim vehicles like we have here. This is a Skyactiv inline-4 sitting side saddle. Skyactiv means high compression, 13-to-1, yet using regular gas. If you don't understand the high compression thing, it's very simple. It means getting more power out of an ounce of gasoline, if you will, by compressing it that much more. But that tends to be a difficult thing to do in most engines, especially with regular. So they use a combination of some interesting piston dome shaping, direct injection, and some kind of long cooling exhaust runners that come off the back of the engine. In other words, very efficient, but not that tricky. No electrification, nothing like that, no turbos. The bottom line is 184 horsepower, 185 foot-pounds of torque. Pretty respectable numbers for a car that weighs about 3,400 pounds. Rather on the light side, thanks to the use of a lot of what they call high-strength steel that is strong but weighs less mass than the actual metal. 0 to 60 is about 8 seconds in this guy. MPG 2532, front-wheel drive. You get about a 2 MPG haircut if you go all-wheel drive. And at these higher trim levels, 6-speed automatic only. Lower trim CX-5s do offer a 6-speed manual. Okay, underway, the main thing I want to gauge here is, does Mazda deliver on its engage the driver zoom stuff? That's always been sort of their claim to differentiation. At first blush, I'd say somewhat yes. This is not an overpowering car, but it does have good responsiveness compared to a lot of vehicles today that have got this rubbery kind of drivetrain. I missed the fact that it has no paddles. I'd like to see that on a car that has a fairly taut feel. Power delivery is pretty good, the suspension's not wallowy, and yet the ride quality is good. It doesn't punish you with too much road chatter feedback. And last thing is, ergonomics are quite good in this vehicle. Everything kind of falls where your hands naturally are, and visibility, it's very compromised in the rear. Those giant C-pillars are just one of the defining characteristics of compact crossovers, but beyond that, it's a very comfortable vehicle to get natural with very quickly. Now, pricing the CX-5 Grand Touring, top of the stack, automatic only, $28,800. Another $1,250 gets you all-wheel drive. You're also going to take a 2 mpg hit, more or less, on your fuel economy. $1,425 for the tech package. That gets you the TomTom nav that I could kind of live without. Automatic braking for the collision avoidance in city traffic. Also bi-xenon HID headlights with automatic headlight control as well.